Well, hello, everyone. Hey, Maria. Hey there, Inspiration TV, who's on. Hey, guys, we got something a little bit different for you, and I hope more get on. We are going to have PJ Thomas over here, who is a wonderful friend who I have known since 2014. Oh my God. And I'm going to have him interview me because if anybody should, oh my God, see my cat tail back there? She's happy. Anyway, I'm going to have him interview me because he knows me. I think he does. So we're going to just see how this goes and we're going to learn a little bit about who I am. And I'm going to hand this over to PJ.
Great. Well, thank you. This is thank you for this honor, Elena. I know you guys have been this channel's been moving forward, and it's really just an honor to be here with you. And so thank you and everybody for the invitation.
Yeah, and Angie's on. Maria's going cat. My God, she cracks me up. And Angie says, hello, hello, sweetie.
Hello, Angie. Hello, Maria.
Oh, all right. So, shall we begin so that people
Yeah.
have an idea?
And before we begin, 1 second, let me just do one thing. I want to say hi. Yeah, say hi to everybody, to our friends over at Inspiration who are doing that for me, and Angie and Maria and a few of those lurkers who are in the chat. Anybody who's in the chat, if you don't mind, before we get started, to share this out for Elena, that would help. So please share it out on Twitter, on Facebook, or wherever you are. Share it out. Please share it out.
Yes. That would be very nice. I so appreciate it.
So yeah, where do you find yourself today, young lady? Are you
where do I find myself?
where in the are you? I know you travel a lot. You're always doing events and you're doing a lot of stuff. Where are you? Where are you these days?
I am home. I am downstairs in my family room right now because it's sunny and warm. But I have news on the personal front. This morning, this house has sold. Drum roll. Well, you're supposed to do that before, but drum roll, it has sold. It is official. It's now pending, and she's moving in, and I am moving out, and I am moving down to, thank you, Maria. She shared. Thank you. I am moving down to Tennessee. New horizons. Yay. Thank you for sharing. That's important. Yeah.
Wow.
I'm very happy about that. That's like a load. But again, PJ, the funny thing is, we had 55 people walk through this house and nobody even bit. And my Maria, my realtor, she says, oh my gosh, we had 55 and they're saying this and this and this. And I said, Angie, thank you. You shared, sweetheart. Thank you. And then she says, okay, don't worry about it. I said, I'm not worried. They just weren't the right person. And that's what I told her. And then I said to the universe, I'm putting a white light around this house. That's what I do. And I said, and with this white light, the right person will come in very soon. And then all of a sudden, when I didn't expect it, still in my robe, here she comes. And I'm like, oh my God, let me get it ready. And she came in, but this is the funny thing. This is the very funny part, which you might find humorous. She dresses like me. She's like a blonde version of Elena. She has holy jeans. I love holy jeans. It's kind of my thing. And she had the sweater or the little lappy thing and the long blonde hair, the sunglasses like mine. And I'm looking at this woman and she even drives the same kind of car. Now, don't you think that's very interesting to say the least? And she loved the vibe and bought it that day.
So this woman has an Elena vibe about her, huh?
She has a blonde Elena vibe.
Okay. And the holy jeans, I assume are jeans with holes, not sacred jeans.
No. No. They're holy jeans. Holy. I like my holy jeans. Yeah, I always have liked them. I have like 4 pairs. I'm always wearing them. Yeah.
What about the chat? Anybody in the chat like holy jeans? Are you guys into Holy
Oh,
jeans?
Maria, you've got to. And Angie, you know how I love them, right? I'm always wearing them. Yeah. They give you lots of room in the knee. I like that.
That's true.
So anyway,
So,
what do you want to know?
let's I've seen you. Okay, so let me just first share how we met. So,
Oh,
is that
God.
okay?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
I want to hear
So,
what you're going to say.
we met at at one of Bob Proctor's premier events in
My
Toronto
first.
at the Matrix. And was that your first Matrix? I
That
think
was
it
my
was.
very first.
Yeah.
I saw him say in an email, "You need to come see me." And I said, "Yes, I do." And I called Candy in Chicago, who then led me to Harash, and I came to the Matrix. I told you I decide fast. I always have.
Yeah.
So there I went.
So we had so I'd been a coach with Bob for several years at that point. I'd gone to a couple of his events, and yeah, that was the minus 30 degree um um winter
It was
that Matrix. That was
horrid.
crazy.
It
It was
was
horrid.
so freaking cold. It was so cold. And we actually went out at night when it was even colder. I
We did. That's right. Yeah.
Maria says she doesn't own a pair of jeans and that people would think my cat did it.
That's possible.
I get it. But yeah, it was really, really cold that night. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah. It was interesting. I mean that first time was very interesting. It was my first Matrix event too. Alina and I hit it off, and we made a lot of new friends that first
Yeah,
time around.
cool people. That kept coming back. That's why I kept coming back. The people were fantastic.
Yeah,
And the friends I made and just the whole thing. I know people all over the world now, you know?
yeah. And of course, we miss Bob very much. He
Oh,
passed.
God.
Yeah,
Yes, very much.
very very
Too
unfortunate.
much loss in the last 2 years for me. Yeah, it's too bad. Yeah, I do miss him. Yeah,
Yeah,
but anyway, he's in a good place. I know he is. So, can't
yeah.
complain. Can't be selfish.
He's it's funny because Bob always talked about connecting spiritually to other teachers that had passed
Yeah,
before.
his
And,
mastermind.
and so
Nobody got that. I did. Yeah.
he's probably there for us now. So
Oh, yeah. He's part of mine. I do. I have him and I have my best friend Tom. Yes, he's in I call him my counsel. In fact, he was the one who said to get the area coordinators. He was the one who said, go do that. Get those groups going. Isn't
really
that amazing?
interesting.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know.
Well, that was yeah,
Great
and
meditations in the morning.
that's something he had explored himself too. So
Mhm,
interesting.
mhm.
That's
Yeah, I
interesting.
know. Yeah.
Well, let me ask you this because you have a very mystical side to you, of course. How did you have any childhood experiences
Ooh.
that promoted this path, shall we say?
I was a strange child. No, everybody loved me, but I was very, very PJ introduced me to his videos. Ah, yeah, he's
To
cool.
Bob's video.
Bob is, yeah, I know. Bob, yeah. Oh, yeah, he has I love the man. He was really cool. Anyway, so yeah, I was a strange little girl. I was very independent from the age of 3. I don't know what that was about, but I used to always set my little crib up on its end. I had a little doll crib, right? And then I'd line up all my stuffed animals and I would talk to them about God. Who does
Mm,
that at 3? Nobody does that. And then when I was 7, I went to a Catholic school, which didn't agree with me.
mhm.
And I,
Now,
I
did it not agree with you, or did you not agree
agree with
with
it.
them?
Hey, that was a good catch. I didn't agree with them. I mean, we had a hard time. And I also have dyslexia. And it was really in the 2nd grade when to keep God, when I do math, I create stories with all the numbers. That's
Mhm.
what a dyslexic will do, stuff like that. And so, to keep my mind on the task, to keep focused, I would hum just very lightly. And Sister Helen just said, "No, no, no." And my math scores went right down. So I didn't love that from on. And so I started skipping school. And yeah, and I play sick and I was very good at it, I must say. And
What age are we talking about?
oh God, from 3rd grade on, but I was age 7 on this
How
particular.
do you skip school at age the 3rd grade age? Oh, I see. Okay.
You pretend you're sick, and then because nobody checks on you a whole lot, you can be fine. And I was up in my room pretending to
Mhm.
be sick, and
And
the
having an Italian mother, of course, it would say, "Oh, no, she can't go to school. She's
yeah,
sick."
yeah, yeah, yeah. She'd make me a meatball sandwich or something. And then so anyway, it was really weird. At first I had these ballerina pictures because of course I wanted to be a ballerina. And but they started to move and their lips started to move. And I thought, what the heck? And I wasn't scared. I kept trying to get closer. And then well, an angel, okay, a spirit, but it was an angel, came and said, "Well, you are ready. 7 years old. Come on. You're ready to the lost souls will come to you and you will open the light." I said, "Okay," because I was just honored that I was asked, but I had no idea. You skipped to Maria, I'm not surprised. I think we are
Is
cohorts in this.
what is that Me Too about the skipping, or is that Me Too about talking to your dolls and telling them about God?
Oh, yeah, either one.
Both, maybe.
So anyway, and from that time on, our house was haunted, and I was always sending so many. I was always taking them to opening the light for them, and I was very fortunate, especially when I was young, that they were just ordinary people or souls, people who had just passed or were lost, or I don't know, but they were not. There was no negative energy. So I've been doing that for many, many years. Oh, dyslexic. I thought you just played hooky like me. Yeah, yeah. Isn't that interesting? I think it does help you tap in when you have something like that. And anyway, so I've been doing that. But of course, my mother went Italian ballistic and said, "Oh, it's evil, it's awful, don't say that." And then she hustles me off to the priest, and it has to be the old priest. And the priest says, "Oh, that active imagination has to be tamed." And I thought, I don't like taming. And I just kind of learned to keep my mouth shut. And I was quiet about my spirituality. Music brought me into every religion. I always felt God or source in
Mhm.
every religion I was in. Then the people, I just love the people, the music we created. I mean, it was great. But I never talked about my own spirituality and my gifts. And it wasn't until what, 2000, God, 17, 18,
Mhm.
that really not that long ago, and or maybe a little bit before. It wasn't, and I was talking to people in my company over an Italian dinner, and had a little too much wine. I had 2 glasses, which is not my norm. And
Mhm.
before I know it, I'm opening up, which was, what the heck? And they said, "Oh my God, you got to teach this stuff. Oh my gosh." And I thought, oh, I don't know. And I actually talked to my friends about it. And it took me almost a year because I really thought that people would not accept it
Mhm.
and it would lay me vulnerable out there. And that I just didn't want. And then Bob didn't help me either, PJ,
In
because
what sense?
I went and asked him. I remember it was one of those events he was having. I don't know which one it was, but I went up to him on the stage and I said, "Hey, Bob, what about going more spiritual? Me, not you, because he's very spiritual." very spiritual. And he said, don't do it. And he was so firm. He said, you will not make money. You don't need to go there. Just don't do it.
Now, I gotta. So knowing Bob, I kind of know. I kind of understand why he would say it though,
Hard.
because you can teach kind of like, first of all, Bob was very spiritual, for everybody, just to everybody who doesn't know that.
Yeah, that's what
But
I love.
and he would answer questions continuously about being spirituality, and he would mix spirituality into everything he was saying, but people were always paying attention more to the success and achievement side to everything.
Yes.
So Bob probably thought, well, you can teach all this stuff that's making me money, right?
Right.
And
He
but the
told me to go
spiritual,
home. Right. Remember that? He
he
said,
told you
you
to go
know
home.
this stuff. Why are you here?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So he probably just wanted you to be successful
I
to a
know.
certain point before bringing out your spirituality, is my guess.
Maybe. Oh, well, you know.
But
But I mean, the gifts. So, and I have become more of a mystic. And it really came from learning how I can alter reality. And what
Mhm.
is a mystic? Does anybody know? Because a lot of people don't know what a mystic is. And I even looked it up, and there's so many different venues of what a mystic is, or what the church deems a mystic is, what a witch might deem a mystic. What is that? Nobody has a definition. But the one thing I see as commonalities that I seem to do also is that I always see source in everything, everything, and or God, or I am, or whatever you say. Um, I see God in everything, and I most of the time, like 99% of the time, people don't know it, but I'm living between the veils of this reality and beyond this reality. So I will observe things that people don't see. I read souls. I always have since I was a kid. That came with the other gift. And
Mhm.
so when I look in a person's eyes, I can actually see who they truly are. And then when I was a kid, I was always amazed when
Oh,
they
Jesus.
chose not to do that. But now I've learned free choice, you know? But it really helps me in my work because I know the goal, and I know who they are. Like if I know a person has a very fiery soul, then and what they're missing in their life, and they're upset, I know that's what they're missing. They're missing that passion. And that's what their soul's here about, to learn the passion of experiencing things. And it's like they have a very fiery kind of soul. And souls are different. We're all not just the same. That's what
Mhm.
makes us different. And also, that's what makes, if each soul is different, who was it? Eckhart in the 11th century. Okay.
Mhm.
He said this wonderful quote. He said, okay, God, okay, the soul can become God. I have to do it right. It always takes me a minute. The soul can become God, but God cannot become the soul. And he was a mystic, by the way.
Hmm.
And so, before you leave me, Angie, I'm never going to be totally gone, sweetheart. You have to tell me about myself and what you see in me. I will, sweetie. I see you tomorrow. So anyway, anyway,
Let me just add really quick to Angie's comment. Your organization is going to be present
oh
everywhere,
yeah,
and you're growing, and it's going to be present again, where you've lived in Indiana, and it's going to be present elsewhere.
the
So
wine
she's
and
not.
journeys are going to
Yeah.
continue. And hun, you've got to find time to come, because the wine and journey we had the other night was incredible. It was so much fun, and the women felt so good. I mean, you really, yeah, you would have so much fun in that group. It's a very loving group. So yeah, you got to come to those, and I will always be there. And so will PJ, and so will Aaron, and so will all the wonderful people who will help me keep it. Where was I? Oh,
So You were talking about being able to see between veils
Oh, yeah,
and see
yeah.
things that other people might not perceive.
The soul thing and oh, Eckhart Tolle.
Eckhart.
So this is the thing. Our souls are all unique and we are all here to evolve. And when we evolve, we actually evolve the source of all being, which some people call God, some call Allah, some call whatever you call it. It is this incredible living force. And that is the creator of so much. But this is what we are by our evolution, elevate that even more. And that's why we're here. The things that we learn by contrast, the lessons we learn, that our soul evolves. So, but God is not the soul. Meaning God, we become part of God, but God does not become us because that is freedom of choice. See, very important. And so it's just very interesting. You know, I contemplated that for a long, long time. But the thing is, a mystic, and then I added the Muse because I don't just sit on a hill. That would not sound fun. Although I'm moving to a hill, but I don't want to just stay there.
I mean,
And,
like the wise
and
woman on the mountain.
yeah, no, I don't want to do that. I love people. I love animals. I love doing. I love being out. I laugh a lot. I adore music still, and that's kind of the muse. It's the one that
You're a
draws
professor of
me,
music, right? An associate professor.
associate professor of music. Yeah. Yeah. And I love it. I just love music of all types. There's some that I don't like, but most of them I really love. And so with that, because I am not one who sits in a robe on a hill, I am more of that muse. I'm with the people drawing them in.
Hmm.
So
All
how
right.
fun is that?
Are you ready for a curveball?
I guess.
Okay.
What are you gonna do?
All righty. So you published a lot of books, right? And I want to go back to one of your earlier publications, and because I think that this
Ooh,
has been relevant to a lot of your clients in the past, who I've met. Do you want to tell us a little bit about this title? This is an interesting title.
yeah.
You can't escape from a prison if you don't know you're in one.
Yes, that is a quote. And I remember I was in a mastermind with Bob. This book was never supposed to be, it was supposed to be a journal. I was writing a journal, and Bob said,
Really?
"You have a book." I said, "I have a book." He said, "You have a book." And then he hustled me over to the publisher and said, "Let's get a title for her and everything else." But I was in a mastermind when he came up with this title.
Interesting.
And I thought it was interesting, but he also knew my past. He knew what I had been through. He knew what made me so curious about more of the mystic and the alterations of reality. And so he knew that's how I broke out. And I think that's why he came up with this title for me. And it's true. We we can live very mundanely, fearful of things, and not wanting to ask why, and not trying to get to a place where we are in a higher dimension of ourselves, and we just kind of get caught in drama to drama to drama to drama, and we're over busy, and we're on our phones like 520, what is that, 24/7 they say. They're on their phones like crazy, and hard life is hard, and you're in a prison, folks. That's a prison, because you're not seeing the beauty in life. You get caught up in all the, oh, I don't know, the stuff, and you
And
feel so here.
people might think that this is like the title. I think really is for everybody, because I think to
Yeah,
one degree or another we can all say this about ourselves, right?
sure.
We're like you're saying, it's not, it's there, like some people might be looking at this title, well, I'm not in the prison, but then to some degree you can be on certain levels, right? And
You
maybe
can
you don't.
be, yeah, you can be, even if you're wide awake and you are evolving, there's a part of your life that is stuck. And maybe it's career, maybe it's not making money, maybe it's not really having trust, even though you've done all the forgiveness and the gratitude and raising. You're trying to do what you see on YouTube or whatever, but you just are still not that's still a prison. And the comfort zone, I had someone say the comfort zone is so hard to leave, and yet it's so painful to stay. That's a
Yeah.
prison. That's a prison. And so this book, this book really hit the market like on fire. And it has been ever since. And it's a small book, but it really is very straightforward, and it really does help people because it gets you started, and it really does crack through that comfort zone. Really does. It raises your vibration, which of course is a different reality, and gets you stepping into it. So it's a good book.
Let
No,
me ask
not
you that.
prism. No, not prison. Prison.
Now you have more books available. Do you want
I
to tell?
do.
Can you tell us what? And you have a new one coming out. Can you tell us what the other books are?
Well, the other one is just an extension, goes into the more of the, what do I want to say? It goes into more detail, and it's called You Can Be a Prison to Food. Yes, a prism to time. Good. I love this. What was I saying? The Prison Effect is another book. It came after, and it was just more. It was more exercises, more realizations, more about that forgiving thing that so many people don't want to do. But really, if you really want to be free, you've got to start forgiving and letting go. That's the other thing people don't seem to understand.
So
It's
not forgiving. You're saying not.
forgiving and letting go, not forgiving and keeping it all there. No, you got to let it go. Got to let it go. What were you going to say, PJ? I'm sorry.
Not forgiving somebody can turn into a prison. You're saying.
Right? Oh, not forgiving is you're putting yourself in a horrible, horrible prison of the past. And that past is affecting everything in your future. When people say, I'm a survivor, I think, oh God. Because a survivor means I am always surviving battles. And I have had these battles, and they talk about a lot of women come to me, some men too, but it's usually a lot of women, not because I'm marketing to women, they just do come. And it is not that time for you to keep bringing up the ex-husband over and over and over. It is not that job that was toxic and you keep reliving it, or that terrible childhood and you keep that is a prison in itself. And you're causing yourself to only be a survivor. You are only surviving the next battle. You have actually told the universe, I'm a survivor. That's it. You're destined yourself. Yeah. And see, you're not getting out of the comfort zone. You got to get out of that.
It's like when people say, there's a lot of people who say, well, I'm a warrior, right? Or I'm a fighter. And it's like, well, what you're basically calling your next battle into reality, right?
Yeah. I saw a newscaster say, I'm ready for a fight. Well, I guess you're going to get it now. Just laid it out there.
So, I mean, words are very powerful, right? Because they, just the fact of just intention can be very, very powerful to bringing, manifesting things in your life, right?
It is interesting. And I did an interview with my fellow neighbor in Chicago on Mystical Muse this morning. And her name is Stephanie Wilson. And she was telling a story. And I noticed because she had pinnacle points in her life where she just had to make a decision. And I thought about my life and I thought, it's so true. Because there was one time in my life way before Bob that I was almost homeless. I mean, not kidding, almost homeless. I had $200 in my pocket. That's it. That's it.
Wow.
And I saw a homeless person and gave him 20. And then I thought, oh, maybe I should have done that because I'm one step. And then when I said that to myself, I said, whoa, no, that is not where I'm going. That was it. And right after that, I got a phone call from my friend, and she said, do you want to see this apartment? They want 500 down and 500 for the last. And I said, sure. I don't have any money. But when I went there, I swear I'm in there. And all of a sudden, this is how powerful your decision is. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in this place I can't afford, and it needs work. And before I know it, I don't even know what made me say it. It just kind of popped into my head. And I said, this place needs a lot of work. If you let me live here for two months free and pay for the supplies, I will do this whole thing over. I will rip up this rug because I know there's mold under it. I didn't know there was mold under it, but somehow somebody did. And before I know it, he said yes. I've had it over and over and over, guys. When you make a decision and you're firm with it and you say, okay, I am not going there, or I am going here, or I am going to sell this house, or I am, at that I am something is extremely strong. And it sets all the wheels in motion because your heart is feeling that definity. Every part of you is feeling that definity of that answer. And before you know,
Oh, that's your Instagram. That's just your Instagram.
Oh, thank you. Anyway, that makes everything start, and they do. It's magical. Yeah, and energy does move energy. Bruce Lee said, "Don't speak negatively about yourself, even as a joke." Isn't that true? Your body doesn't know the difference. Words are energy. Exactly. I liked Bruce Lee, actually. Yeah. So
Yeah.
that is, and so we wrote a book, and then we are off. And then the last book I have is Hello Soul. Now, Hello Soul is being put out again. We do have it on Audible. And if you want to have a good time listening to an Audible and you want to hear little old Elena reading that book, not an actress, but little old me, and it's very real and it's very fun, then go to the I think it's the Kindle store that you get the books, or the Audible store, and you can get that one. But it's coming out in print. Should be out within the next month.
And I got a it's called Hello Soul.
Hello
And
Soul.
I got a glimpse of a couple of chapters, and it looks fantastic.
Thank you.
Looks fantastic.
People really like it, and Peggy McCall, who doesn't even read a book, she's like a 3-time best-selling author in a New York Times. She doesn't even read a book, but she read that book. And she actually said, oh my gosh, you really are an author. Oh, she's funny. But anyway, it's a good book. It's my story. I don't teach where I tell you what to do. I mean, I give you things to do, to try, exercises, but I'm not one who says, this is where it is. This is the only way. That's not me, because it isn't the only way. And when I did Hello Soul, I thought, you know what? People don't want to have someone in their face. And so what I did was I told the story of how the journey I went on to really become, everyone says, oh, they hear their soul once in a while, or they're intuitive. I wanted the complete deal. I wanted to start living from my soul. I wanted the critical mind to be so weak and that the soul was very loud. And I went on a wonderful journey where I met incredible teachers everywhere I went, shamans and lay people, all sorts of people. And they all had lessons for me. And I found that I didn't always step forward. So you'll see that in the book. And at the end of every chapter, because I want to give you choices, I always have like 3 or 4 new exercises that you can do if you don't like what I did. So you can go on your own journey. So it's a pretty good book. It's a really good book, actually.
Let me ask you, because a lot of people, so a lot of people are have come across you, but they haven't been able to, for whatever reason, they haven't found time, or they haven't crossed that threshold into working with you. I know the
They
people,
flirt.
they flirt, they flirt.
That's what I
I
say. They flirt around me. Yeah.
I know the people who have worked with you one on one, and that is that turns into a very a very um, unique experience, a very positive experience, a very prolific experience.
Yes.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about like what it is to work with you one on one?
Oh, well,
And I know it's different for different people, right? But
well, it is, and it does help that I see into the soul. Um, I well, number one, I don't have judgment because that's silly, and I don't ever want to make you feel uncomfortable in that way, except in a good way. But I never am critical. But I do see the essence of what you're talking about pretty fast. And then we come we work on things that will help you get through that. And it's fast. I mean, I'm always amazed. Guys, I'm always amazed. And then I always connect you right from the start to the guide who or this angel. What your belief system is very important. I don't change belief systems. But whoever is on that side that wants to help you here during this time in your life. And so you always have a friend to talk to, and you always have that angel to lean into, and that helps tremendously. But I think that, what I want to say is the results people get even amaze me, and it's consistent. And I had one just
agreed, yeah.
yeah, I mean, I'm amazed. Like I had one person in my house just what Monday, and it was her first time, and she had lost her passion and her light, and she was very upset, and she had been upset for a while, and she had to make a decision, and she was going to sign everything over, all her business, everything she worked for. And I said, "Well, I don't know if that, is that really what you want?" And so we talked about it, and I gave her some things to work on. I gave her some really fun because she needs to get her passion back. That's what she wants. She is like, she's got this fire in her belly that and it was dimming. It's like she threw water on it. So we talked about that. I got her guide. I gave her some exercises to do, some things that I were downloaded to me, which I channeled to for her specifically to do. And then I called her the next day, and she's like a totally different person. And she's like, "Oh," I said, she was telling me something, and I said, "Oh my gosh, I think I hear a little passion." And she laughs and she goes, "I feel so good and I am on fire again. I love this. And I feel like a whole different person." Now, I know, God, I know everybody tells you this, but I'm amazed too. And I have this happen over and over and over, and it only gets better and better and better. And people just ascend quick. I think you just need to have, I think it's the mystic part. I really do think that that channeling and getting the resources that you need and having that come down through me for you is what makes the difference, because you are not the same as this person, and this person is not the same as this person. You are all different, and you're all here for a different reason. And me, I'm a person. Well, I'm a spirit within a body, like all of us, right? But the universe knows exactly what you need. And I think that's one of the things that helps tremendously in the really rapid results I see. Yeah.
You kn Yeah, absolutely, and, there's a, secondary thing going on there with the people you're working with, is that they start to become of that part of that, Elena Chapman community,
Yes.
and they make
Well,
friends, and they get
yeah.
support,
Yeah.
and once that saying that we've heard a million times, you ha you're you kind of become with the five people you hang
Yeah.
out with the most.
Yeah.
So if you start hanging out with the people in the other people in the Elena Chapman community who are also on that same journey and are also talking about those same topics, and most importantly have that proper attitude and spiritual energy of being on that path, then that support in the Elena Chapman community is a really big deal.
It is.
What do you have going on? Like, I know you have chats with Elena. Do you want to just like share what chats with Elena is, for example?
Oh yeah, chats with Elena. Now, yeah, Angela's on chats with Elena. Whoops, I didn't mean to shake the camera. Sorry about that. Um, chats with Elena is a subscription on the website. What is it? It's a wonderful time because, God, everybody's so fun. We get on twice a month, and I have different topics that we talk about. Now, here's the thing, we are a community. So I have something planned and I start talking, but somebody starts asking something, and then another one chimes in, and you all want that same thing. Well, guess what? We are a community. I will give you what you need. And but you always gain something in it. And we always try to do a journey, because a journey, it's a guided journey, which some people say they always receive. People like the guided journeys very much. Why do I do guided journeys? Because when I was learning how to meditate, I was I couldn't. I was giggling the whole time. I could not do it. And I then went with one of my
What do you
friends.
mean you were giggling?
I was I'd be in this black room and everybody is like doing these deep meditations, and I look around and I'm like nowhere, and I just started giggling. I was not a good and I didn't do it just more than once. I did it. Yeah, I did it a lot. So I finally said, this is ridiculous. I have got to figure out how to quiet my thoughts. And so I went to a journey, and just for the first time, I just soared. I went to the other dimension right away. Sitting in quiet or is like sitting on a mountain. But if I can go to that place and sit in the hand of source or on a cloud, which that's why that promo we put out is so apropos. And I can get all the sorts of information I want. I love journeying, and I thought, how can I make this? Because a lot of people have trouble journeying. And I thought, how can I make this where they are guaranteed to be able to go through the portal of this veil to the next? And I began by having just guiding them. And somehow I just am able to get them right into that theta state. And in that theta state, they suddenly just soar. They just soar. And it gives them so much comfort. I've healed people spiritually with that. People love my spiritual healing journey. I have a course in that. I've taught people, and I mean, what a joy it was to see. I had one woman who even went back and found her whole ancestry. She did that on her own in a guided, and she has Indian descent, and they came up and healed her and stayed with her in her life. How cool is that? Whoever
Wow.
hears of these kinds of things. And that's why I do what I do with the journeys. So on the chats, you always receive a journey. In every private thing I do with people, you receive a journey, because it's too much of a gift to keep hidden. And the chats, though, are also, because it's a subscription, you also get like the blog, and you'll also get videos that'll be helpful throughout the month too, which we are working on building more and more and more of, because I want you to have a wonderful time in the community, you know? And for those who want to be on the WhatsApp group just to hear what's going on and form a little bit of a community on there, we're starting a WhatsApp group, but you have to let me know you want to be on it,
Yep. And the best way to do that is to go to elenachapman.com and to go
Yeah.
to contact and just contact them.
Look at that beautiful lavender light.
The website is looking really nice, by the way.
Thank you.
It's Yeah, you've relaunched everything, and
I
it looks
have.
fantastic.
Yeah.
That is the yeah, this is the place to go to
Yeah.
be on that.
Check it out. There's some cool stuff. I mean, the blog is really cool. There's also a wonderful, for those of us who don't keep boundaries, there is a free quiz there called Your Quiz to Your Boundaries. So, are you really? And it's really funny if you answer one way with your boundaries in the relationship category, and you think you're answering in a different way in your job, and you'd be surprised how the boundaries you're keeping in one area of your life align with the other areas of your life totally, and can
Interesting.
hold you back. Yeah, I've proved it over and over and over. I should publish a study. Sound scientific.
So people who are not good at maintaining boundaries in one area tend to have them in other areas of
Oh,
life.
totally. Totally. It's across the board. It always is. It what keeps you stuck in one area is what keeps you stuck in the other two. I've seen it over and over. That I always do that test with everybody when they start.
Just a general question for the chat. Does anybody have boundary issues in the chat that you don't have to see what they are, but like I think we can all think about boundary issues that we've had at one time or another.
Oh God, yes. My mother. I had terrible boundary issues with my mother, and she kept breaking them. So my mother, our up and down life, right? Oh, heck yes. She said, yes, yes. Angela, I'm sure. Yep. But
Yeah,
that's,
we
you should take the quiz, hun.
we
You
all
might
do. We've all had boundary issues.
we oh gosh, yes, of course we have. We're human. We gotta really be like, we're here to live a human experience.
Now
And
let me ask. I'm sorry. Finish your thought.
well, and that is what brings us the contrast from when we're not here, right? And so we understand boundaries totally. We don't have to worry about boundaries when we're not here, but here we're inundated. We have to make boundaries, and it's a learning process. And when you do that, oh my gosh, you just elevated your soul. Kind of cool.
Let me say, and would you agree with this? In my experience, people who have a lot of empathy may be particularly vulnerable to boundary issues.
Say that again.
So, people who have a lot of empathy might be more susceptible, in my opinion, to boundary issues with people.
Um, because
What do you think?
when you have empathy, and a lot of people do, it's a gift. It's a very beautiful psychic gift. And I see more. Angie says you have no idea. The thing is, empathy is a very powerful healing gift. And I see so much on social media, especially TikTok right now, putting down empathy. When you have empathy, you can understand another person. You can understand what they're going through. You can help them. But the thing is, nobody teaches us how to use these gifts. And a lot of people go in with empathy, and they feel, I was just talking to someone about this, and she is a humongous people pleaser, and she wants to make sure everyone's happy. She is the little diplomat, which I was when I was little, or older. My dad always called me the diplomat. And what we have to understand is the empathy is not for you to absorb their energy. When you're an empath, you feel their energy, but you don't own it. You don't let it absorb in you, because this is the thing. When you do that, then you become heavy, and you cannot be the hand that helps that person out of that problem. You can't be the friend. you end up empathizing and being so as wishy-washy as they are, but you are not standing in your strength to be able to put your hand in and say, hey, I can lead you out of this. Let's go try doing this. Or let's go for a walk. Let's go out and have a coffee. Let's, you just can't, you're too heavy. So we find a lot of people will say they walk outside right now and they are just inundated with the energy of mass consciousness. Now, mass consciousness is a problem right now. I live in a place where the mass consciousness is very heavy and people are very angry and people are kind of strange right now, to tell you the honest truth. And
Welcome to the weekly roundup. Welcome.
The weekly round, we have one. Oh, hey there. So, hi. So I have noticed this, and a lot of people are complaining they can't even go outside. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. If you need to get a crystal, which a lot of people do, that tourmaline or obsidian is wonderful for putting up a wonderful white light and keeping you protected from that. But you really don't want to shut off the empathy because that's your strength. So many people don't have that. And so what you want to learn is the boundary. And it's not that hard of caring and understanding where that person is, but not letting it absorb you. Okay. And I teach that. I teach the psychic gifts when people are ready and want that, and how to use them without getting exhausted or drained, and how to keep yourself healthy and well and happy.
Hello, Joe. Thank you for
Hi,
joining us, Mr. Weekly Roundup.
yeah. Oh, thank you. Yes, I know. Isn't that great? I'm so happy to have sold the house. I really am. New chapter, new life. Very cool.
So, what is on the horizon for you coming up in the near future?
Oh my gosh.
What does 2023 look like for you?
What doesn't it look like? There is so much going on.
I mean, we're already in May. I can't believe we're already in May, but
Oh, I know. I know it's happening way too fast. Well, I'm moving. But I am putting out, we launched this business not very long ago. And so what we're doing is we're building it. And I know that because of the success I get with people and the happiness I see them live with, and how fast they start to manifest everything in their life, and they start to live in that incredible place with their gifts and their happiness and their fire and their, I don't know, everything they do, their creativities. That's what's so cool. I've decided to have more of a reach out. And so we've got now area coordinators who are doing these wine and journeys in New York. And I have people who are going to, I'm not going to be here anymore in Indiana. So I have wine and journey people doing it here in Fort Wayne and around little areas. So the wine and journeys will continue. And then I will start them in Tennessee. So with that, we have that growth happening. We have a lot of growth with, the website. We've got the Mystical Muse show coming out, which, for podcasts, guys, you should give it a lesson when it comes out. I'll let you know when. The Mystical Muse fascinates me. It's evolving. And, it was supposed to be about just people's journeys, but it really is about the essence of spirituality, your spirituality. And I'll tell you what, with that wonderful understanding of following somebody with their spirituality, what they have learned, what they haven't learned, what were their experiences, how many times did they fall in that hole before learning, all that kind of stuff helps you with your own. And so that Mystical Muse is turning out to be an incredible little podcast. And I'll let you know when that comes out. Other than that, the courses are all there. There's so many. And we're going around to different areas. And I'm doing a day-long workshop called The Art of Manifestation. No, The Illusion and the Art of Manifestation. because the illusion, understanding the illusion of this reality is the beginning. When you understand that, manifesting is a piece of cake. So, did I miss anything, PJ?
No. I'm sorry. Excuse me. I have allergies, and I was trying not
I
to
know.
sneeze.
I couldn't. Yeah.
That is great. And as Joe says here, yeah, it's 2023 still unpacking, of course. And
Oh, yeah.
yeah, I mean, we're at the beginning of May, but
Okay.
there is a lot coming. And you know, I know that you've had some you know, very successful events. For what is it like to go to one of these retreats that you do?
Ooh.
What is the experience of one of these retreats?
Okay. Well, if you come to the Unabashedly Me retreat, which is the one that I have going on more, that is a one where the stuff that I can't teach in one day at the Illusions and the Art of Manifestation, you will learn there. You will understand who you are. And for a lot of people, that's not the case. A lot of people do not feel comfortable in their own skin. They do not feel comfortable with uh gosh, with their friends. They aren't real. With their job, they're not real. And they push really hard with their kids, and they feel frustrated, they feel alone, they feel
Let me just say that they make new
not.
friends in the Elena Chapman community, right? Correct.
When they make it in the Elena Chapman community, yes. And what they do at the Unabashedly Me, they are going to bloom. They bloom. They really get to understand where their essence is and where their power is. And because we are there for 3 or 4 days, they get to practice being comfortable with it, bringing it out, testing it out, and really learning how to bring it out in such a beautiful way, and trusting that the real self, the self that's creative, the self that has massive ideas that we usually don't let anybody know, the ones who have spiritual gifts that have never told anybody, the ones who have had this fire that was snuffed out and they want to get it back. These people will start testing it out and coming out into it. And I have some techniques to help them, and that's what makes it so special. I love, they have to understand the illusion. I have easy exercises for jumping into new realities. And then I have the wonderful help of the guided quantum jumping. And when you have the guided quantum jumping, it is again getting yourself into such a calm state that you can visit any reality of yourself, which, by the way, guys, is going on at the same time. And you can choose which one of that self you want to visit. And then all of a sudden, you suddenly know how you want to feel now. And you can bring that future into your life this minute. So that's what we do. We do a lot of, and we also have a lot of fun. You know, I love to have fun. Without fun,
Yeah, the retreats are definitely fun.
oh God,
And it is really good to it's a great like Bob's events when we went to.
yeah,
It's a very nurturing environment
safe space,
for growth, for personal growth.
totally safe.
And and we have our a comic here in the chat about escaping, going to retreat to escape the wife. uh yes,
Who said
he's
that? Yeah,
Joe saying it, a very funny
yeah,
Joe.
yeah, and that's
But
true. There are some.
listen, sometimes couples need breaks,
Oh gosh,
and that's important too. Sometimes you know, your significant other needs time, and you need time, and then you can go back to whatever you were doing for the fresh outlook.
yeah, yeah. And sometimes you can even come as a pair, if you
That's
don't
true.
want to escape. But then I don't expect you to stay together every 2 minutes. I expect you to be able, because you got to explore yourself. And yeah, and we really do. We take walks. I help to lift the veil for you. That's one of the things. There's so many things we do on those, and they are really fun. But this is the thing, and I always loved this in Bob's when I was in Bob's, and even Wayne Dyer. The people that were in the event, we
Mhm.
stayed together, and you always have friends. That's what I foster, and I do foster that safe space so you can explore, and you're all exploring, and that's what's so cool. Yeah, they're fun events, and they're very. You will be changed, I guarantee, to a
Yeah,
better, not
yeah.
worse.
And let me just say too that they're both stimulating and relaxing. So it
Oh
also
yeah.
helps you get away from the stress
Oh yeah.
of your daily on the go
Oh,
stuff.
crazy stuff of this world. Yeah.
Can you give us a what are your thoughts for this new for the springtime and then and the new beginning? What's what a but give us a couple of thoughts for May. How should people be living in the spring? Of course, in the northern hemisphere, we have a few people in here from the southern hemisphere, but
However,
um,
it's still new. Well, some people are going into their winter, like
yeah,
Joe, I think, right?
yeah.
So that's different. But when you're going through the spring, oh my gosh, new birth, guys. So take walks in nature. This is the time that everything is fresh and new. And so you've got to take walks because when you take walks, it allows you to still the mind a little bit and open up into the present moment of what's around you. And you will see flowers that are coming up, those early flowers, the beautiful flowers. All the little creatures are starting to rise. It's magical. The trees are starting to bloom. And if you really pay attention, because everything is so happy, and you walk by that tree and there's no wind, but it starts to wave, was it real or was it not? You'll start to see the magic of this world and hear the symphony. And you just have to sit because if you don't do that, you don't feel that renewal. And it is a time of renewal. And why will that help you? Well, number one, anybody who sees something like that knows that there's magic. Well, put the magic in your life because this is May is the time for you to be creative. It's growth, it's new, it's exploration. It's time for you to have your rebirth. You are just finally opening up and it's time to start a new idea. And please don't tell me we're in retrograde. We're always in retrograde. Don't go by that. Start a new idea. Start writing, start journaling, start that art project. Do something cool that it means something to you. Because when you do that, it feeds your soul and it will lead into every other area of your life. It really will. And of course, always practice your gratitudes, guys. That is a pretty common thing now. Gratitudes and feel them. Do them at night and in the morning because that will open you up even more into the wonder. And that's where you want to be.
Do you review your day to some degree at the end of the day? Like how
Yeah,
you did?
no,
No?
I don't. It's done. It's in the past. I don't really do that. What do I do? Uh, what do I do? Well, I work. I don't worry about it. I think that I really don't. I honest to God. I know some people love to sit and say, "Oh, how," but guys, as far as I'm concerned, once the moment is gone, it's gone. Now, if I do something that I think was really okay, like I locked myself out of my house. All right. So what do I say? Ah, get an extra key, right? There we go. Solve that problem and make a note of that. Always have an extra key. And there, problem solved, let it go, it's done. Today you had a break in your own house. I did not break into my own house. I had to call the realtor's office and said, "What is the code?" So they
Yes.
gave me the code. But yeah,
Today, Alina got called on the police by for breaking into her own house.
oh my
Imagine that.
God, we're writing a
That
Stephen
stuff
King
happens. It
novel.
happens. Angie says, yes, your gratitude journal. Absolutely, Angie. That's great. I assume Angie has one.
Oh, she does. My gratitude journal. Yeah, you like that, don't you? But it's more than it's an inspirational journal. You do your gratitudes, but then I ask you things like in that journal, what is your daydream? Because none of us daydream, and yet imagination is the key. It's the gateway, guys. The more you increase that imagination, the more you will understand, and the more you will create. So what was the quiet time? What did I do just for me? What were my goals today? Did I accomplish them? Yeah, it's a really good journal. Yeah.
Okay.
It's one of what I used.
Well, let me say, Elena, that this hour has flown by for me,
Oh, good.
and it was
You
such a
actually,
pleasure.
you did
Um,
very well. Thank you.
well, thank you. I appreciate that. We we have maybe we'll do this again sometime, because I think that there was I think I have gotten even to haven't even gotten to half of the questions I had for you.
Really
But yeah, but I think it was very good because it was very enlightening. And
good.
by the way, I love this. I love the whole feel of the website. I'm loving it. It's great.
Are you? Oh,
Yeah.
I'm so glad. I like it too. It took a heck of a long time to get everyone to understand what I wanted. And
Man,
because I
Pages.
see those clouds? Yeah, that's the universe.
Yeah.
Always look up at the clouds,
Pages.
guys. They're always new. Yeah, I love the clouds. I'm always looking at clouds. So to have them on my website, that's me. Yeah.
Yes. We definitely love clouds here at Elena Chapman. And yes, beautiful, beautiful soaring high clouds. Elena, I want to thank you so much for this opportunity, and it's
Thank
an
you.
honor, and
It is an
I
honor for me
will
too.
let you say goodbye to everybody.
Oh,
Um,
yeah. Well, guys, I thank you for taking place in this. And if you're interested in anything like the chats, just go to elenachapman.com. But I want to let you know, I am so very happy that you attend these lives 3 o'clock on Wednesdays, because we are trying to build this. This is new, but your support is so wonderful. And I do hope you're getting everything out of it that you hoped you would, because that's really what I want. Next week, I'll be back to being solo, whatever that means, and learning something cool. But I thought this was a fun. I so appreciate PJ for doing this for me. It was very nice. But for all of you, this is the week. Get outdoors. Get outdoors. Get outdoors and just explore. And let the past be in the past. Just enjoy. Yes, I'm interesting in an antiques you are selling during your house move. I'm not. Joe, I'm keeping all my antiques. I already down. However, I do have, if anybody's interested, Joe, I have a vintage old small tub cast iron that I have to get rid of. There, that's it. So get outside and enjoy, and start noticing the miracles that are right around you. That's a great way to stay present. I love you all. Namaste, which means stay connected.
And thank you again to Maria, to Joe in the weekly roundup, to Angie, to Inspiration, and everybody who's in here earlier, and all you lurkers out there.
All
Thank
you
you.
lurkers. Oh, that sounds so horrid. Yes, all of you who have attended. Yes, yes, yes. Boy, now you feel bad. Don't feel bad. You're just observing. It's a good thing. All right. Bye-bye, everyone.
All right. Bye-bye, guys.
And so